I really got to fix that intro music because it just ends. It's like, yeah, I'm done. I counted down to 0. What more do you want from me? I'm, hey, I'm union. That's all I get paid to. There you go. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to your Tuesday. A gorgeous day underway in the nation's capital. By the way, hi, I'm your host, John Milky, the Milkman. It's a gorgeous day. It's 0. I find that hard to believe. It did not feel like 0 when I was outside. Certainly the windows on the truck are all frosted up. But it's 0. Wind chill right now, -3. I'm not going to get upset about that. High of 7 today, just a slight chance of a shower. The rest of the week, when you look at the 5-day forecast, it's one of those screen grab worthy. It's like, do not refresh the weather page. Just don't. It's perfection. Leave it right there. Nothing but sunshine for Wednesday, for Thursday, for Friday, for Saturday, for Sunday, for Monday. And I'm a big believer that, look, they can't even get the forecast for today right. So how much stock am I going to put into them getting, next week's forecast right? Or these predictions, oh, yeah, we're going to have an unusually cold and snowy winter. Don't you love that prediction? It's going to be snowy and cold. Oh, thanks, weather people, because that's so unusual in Canada to have snowy and cold weather. Okay. Speaking of which, I heard somebody, I'm not even going to mention names. I probably couldn't even name the person. Happened to have an FM station on the other day. They were talking about breezy winds. Yeah, we're going to have breezy winds today. As opposed to those winds that just sit there perfectly still and don't cause any breeze at all. Those winds, I see. Breezy winds. How does that come out of your face hole? And it doesn't dawn on you that, that's something that Milky's going to pounce on. Because he is such a perfect broadcaster, as is evidenced by the way he said perfect. Yeah. Anyway, if you put stock into long-range forecasts, next week we should be back into double-digit temperatures. Awesome. Which is good because, like my front yard, all the leaves are gone from the tree in the front yard. The backyard, still waiting for the leaves to fall. I got some mulching to do. So there's that. Good-looking day. Should get to 7. A chance of showers. Rest of the week, sunshine. There you go. It's good to go. I woke up this morning. I've got anytime that there's a transaction on either of my credit cards or on my debit card, I get an email notification. I set that up years ago after one of my cards was compromised. I said, okay, well, at least, then I'm on top of it and I can at least limit the activity. And don't you love people when your card's compromised? Oh, don't worry about it. The bank will cover it. Yeah, they do. But who ultimately pays for that? Oh, the bank. They pay it out of their profits. Yeah, okay. Sure they do. They jack up the fees for you and me to cover off the extra expense of the insurance, etc., that they got to carry in order to protect against that kind of thing. Anyway, somebody last night had a much, much, much wilder night than I did. I was all tucked in and cozy with the dog, the cat. I think my wife was in the mix there somewhere. It's hard to tell if she's there with the dog and the cat. Anyway, I woke up this morning to a notification that, actually several notifications. Your bank card's been used here and here and here and here. Here we go again. So let me ask you this. What's the craziest thing that's ever happened to one of your cards? First time it ever happened to me, I got a phone call from a jewelry store in the States. Oh, hi. We're just calling to confirm your purchase of a tennis bracelet and matching necklace. I said, what? She says, oh, yeah. She says, we have a purchase request for this tennis bracelet and this matching necklace for, I can't even remember what it was. It was like $4,000 or $5,000. Like I had just paid off my credit card and and actually had that kind of room on my credit card. And I'm like, no, I didn't order that. And the girl on the other end of the phone says, are you sure? Because it's lovely. Oh, I don't doubt that it is. Thank you very much. She says, oh, okay. Well, it's a good thing we have the store policy then. I'm like, yeah, it is. Thank you very much for calling. And what was the name of the store again? She gave me the name of the store. It was somewhere in the States. I'm like, you know I'm in Canada, right? She's like, oh, we ship internationally. You're not helping. Okay, fine. Hung up the phone, upset, of course. Oh, my God, what's happening to my credit card? Oh, my God, are they going to take my house? Oh, my God, freak out. This is, I don't know, easily 15 years ago. Called the bank. And they said, oh, yep. We see that attempted transaction. Okay. And the bank says we couldn't put that through though because of the airfare that you bought yesterday. I said, airfare? She says, yeah. I said, no. She says, you didn't book 2 tickets to, I want to say the Congo. No, actually, in fact, I did not. She says, well, there's going to have to be an investigation into your account. Are you able to prove where you were yesterday at such and such a time? I said, yep. I was doing a live radio show. She says, oh, that's a pretty solid alibi. I said, yeah, I think it is. She says, on the radio. I said, yes, on the radio. Like, people heard it. Yes, people heard it. Oh, okay. All right, fantastic. Anyway, and I said, by the way, I've got all kinds of like flags on my account. Why would this not flag a purchase of that magnitude? And she says, oh, let me have a little look. Tick, 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 tick. She digs deep. She goes, oh, she says, because you have a lot of travel on your credit history. I said, yeah. I did a trip to Las Vegas, followed by a trip to Las Vegas. And then I believe I did another trip a few months later to Las Vegas. And then I went crazy. And I went to Las Vegas. And then I went to Edmonton. I said, I don't see the Congo fitting in there. And she's like, no, it really doesn't. So anyway, there will be an investigation, yada, yada, yada. A couple of weeks go by. And of course, you've got the inconvenience. You got to go and you got to get the new card and whatever else and change your PIN, blah, 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 blah. I mean, yes, they cover you. Yes, it's not a huge deal. The money is inevitably put back in your account, but it's just the pain in the ass between now and then, right? And it's not like I use my debit card much. The only thing I use it for really, like most of the time now, I'm tap. I love me the tap. Oh my God. And it's another reason why I love being back on the iPhone. The Android I found was really just, it just didn't, I could never figure out how to use the damn card. Apple, home button twice. Bam. There it is. McDonald's. Woohoo. Boop. Tim's. Boop. Yes, I use it for all the healthy things. So has your card ever been compromised? That is the question. And do you know what happened when they took your card? Lisa says, I'm lucky to be poor and have no credit cards and basic amounts in my bank. Well, okay. I like how you're looking on the bright side of life, Lisa. Melanie says, I've had my card skimmed for fuel, groceries, etc. Sketchy Dunville gas station. It seems to be they hit the gas stations. I think the gas stations are probably the easiest place for these people to swap out the debit machine or whatever they do. I have no idea. And they put little inserts. When you go to the gas pump, do you ever like just where you stick your card in? Do you ever just like pull on that to make sure that it doesn't come out? Like in case some fraudster has put something in there every time. Every time. Of course, I'm racking my brain now because I'm going, the last time I used my debit card was on Saturday when I was on my way to our BTR Live. I filled the truck up with gas. And I'm laying there in bed this morning going, did I yank on the thing? Questions I ask myself every morning. Did I yank on the thing? I can't remember if I yanked on the thing or not. Anyway, called the bank. They'll take care of it. Good morning, Jay, by the way. Jay, longtime friend. First time I've seen you hanging out on Let Me Just Say This About That, which is brought to you, by the way, by Hometown Sports and Grill on Bank Street, just north of Heron. And again, as per yesterday, which direction is north? Well, if you're on Heron, you want to drive towards Parliament Hill. That would be north. They're just north of Heron. That direction, towards Lansdowne, on your right-hand side. Okay. Now that we're clear on that. They've offered up, by the way, a great package for you to win this week. 2 tickets to see the Sens taking on the New York Islanders. Game is December 7th. These seats are in the 200 level, and they've even included a $50 gift card. Oh, my gosh, if you've not had the breakfast at Hometown Sports Grill. Anyway, I gave you a number yesterday. I will give you another number a little later on in the show today. You got to keep track of all of these numbers. They will create a code, and you will need that code on Friday. You'll need all 5 numbers in order to give yourself a chance to win a pair of tickets for the Sens and the Islanders, December 7th, 200 level, and a $50 gift card, both courtesy of Hometown Sports and Grill. Jay says, I use the SO app now to pay for gas, so I never have to insert a card at the pump. That's a good idea. Except, can you actually, I've not been to an SO since the ice storm, Jay. There's reasons for that. That's a whole hour unto itself. But I've boycotted them ever since. But regardless, SO or Ultramar or Petrocan or Stinson or wherever it is you get gas, do they actually have that feature now where you just use the app and you can just boop it on the pump itself? I've not seen that. That's cool. Tanya says, yup, at a gas station. Apparently, I got gas at Petro on Hunt Club. Funny, that's where I got gas. Well, there's a few Petros on Hunt Club. And again, a few hours later. Yes, nothing like, filling up the tank and just a couple hours later, got to fill it right back up again. She says they discovered a card reader on the pump. I also ordered pizza off Hunt Club right after. Yum. Bet you that was delicious. Good morning. Susie, the dating diva, is logged on. She's hanging out with us on Twitch. She's going to pop by in a little bit with today's dating tips. Part of Let Me Just Say This About That. A podcast, by the way. If you can't join us live, no problem. We make it available as a podcast. I checked, as I always do, I checked the stats for yesterday's podcast. 1 person listened to the podcast. 1. A male, apparently, around my age. And no, it wasn't me. I can't help but wonder, oh my gosh, did the person who compromised my card, are they now running around listening to all of my content as if they're me? Anyway, it's fine. What it says to me is so many people are going out of their way to listen to the show live. They don't need to listen to the podcast. So that's fantastic. Anyway, it's me being sarcastic. If you are so inclined, you want to hear this as a podcast, you can find us on Apple, you can find us on Google, you can find us on Spotify. Let Me Just Say This About That is the podcast you're looking for. And if you would be so kind as to subscribe, it does help people find us. It improves the Google rankings. So thank you. Looking and sounding good this morning, says Sue. I'm glad you are, Sue. That's wonderful news. Can I just say, as for me, I smell wonderful this morning. I can't say that every day. There's a lot of days where ugh. This morning, not one of those days. I smell fantastic. Linda says, while we were in Dominican a couple of years ago, someone used our debit to buy over $250 of Uber Eats in Vancouver and some Bitcoins. Jesus, how hungry are you? I had to prove that we were not in Vancouver. Wow. Bitcoins. See, I just don't understand The Bitcoins. Anyway, as for the tapping on the pump thing, Jay says you just open your phone, select the pump, approve transaction, and pump activates all by your phone. I have not seen that, Jay. That's cool. That's cool. Wow. All right. In other news, let me see. What else is going on? Oh, Merry Christmas, by the way. What is going on? Don't we normally wait until, like, did we not have a deal, world? Did we not have a deal that we would hold off on all the Christmas stuff until after November 11th? I thought we had a deal. I thought I read that. But no, the minute the calendar rolled over to November 1st, like every online store, Christmas graphics, Christmas music, Christmas specials. I'm being inundated now with emails going, get your Boxing Day deals now. Come on. I get it. I get why retail wants to, but like, what is with you people who just love Christmas so much? I like Christmas too. I do. It's incredibly romantic and warm and cozy. And oh my gosh, the food. But when you're starting this early on the whole Christmas thing, I don't know, like some of us who deal with anxiety, like when you're posting your Christmas countdown in June, shut the fuck up. Just, come on, just don't. It's not cute. It's not funny. Okay, to some it is. To me, it's not. It just screams at me, you got to hustle more, man, because Christmas is coming and you've got no money. Your broke ass is so broke, and now your cards are compromised. Dude, get your ass in gear. Make some money, man. Make some money. It's June, damn it. You got to buy Christmas presents. It just stresses me out. Stop with your Christmas campaign cheering on stuff. Ugh, no. If that's your thing, awesome. I'm glad you love that. Just realize the world around you right now is like, especially we've been through a pandemic. There are people really, really hurting. Really hurting. And your little, I spent all my Christmas shopping. Whee! Yay! I'm in such a good mood. I bought this, that, the other thing, and I spent millions of dollars. You know what I did? I went to the gas station. Milky was there, and I swiped his credit card, and he bought all my Christmas presents this year. Yay, Milky! Oh my God! Lisa says in the building I'm in, there are lights and trees up already. No, why? Don't you find, Lisa, that just adds stress where you don't need to have stress? I get how retailers are just, they need, like I said, especially after this pandemic, they need that extra money. They need to get a jump on things. They need to do whatever they can to encourage people to spend. I get that. But the catch-22, the flip side of that is just, oh my God. Oh, by the way, if you want in on the show, let me post the link for you. If you'd like to join me by video, you can do that. Here's the link. 3, 2, 1, go. You can also call or text at 613-604-6464. You can chime in on some of the stuff I'm ranting about, or you can, if there's something bugging you, you can bring that up as well. Kelly says, Christmas season starts with Macy's parade on American Turkey Day. See, Kelly, I just steadfastly refuse to base anything that is going on in my world on things that are America only. The Macy's Day Parade, I mean, to each their own. No, that's their thing. This is Canada, where if you live in the capital of the country, you can't have a Christmas parade. Can't have it. Oh, every community around you can have them, but here in Ottawa, no Christmas parade. I talked about this last year. Now, I mean, the pandemic was still, I want to say, a fairly new thing, although it really wasn't. By December, we were all growing pretty tired of it, and we were pretty upset at the fact that, there were cancellations of the Christmas parade. And I said at the time, I said, like there are communities doing a reverse Santa Claus parade. Why is our council not even considering that? If you don't know what a reverse Christmas parade is, it's basically pick an area like, well, Lansdowne's not a good example anymore, but Canadian Tire Center. Huge parking lot there, right? LeBreton Flats. Could we not have done a reverse parade where the floats just, they're all decorated up and you just drive by and you wave at the floats and there's Santa at the end? Now, Linda has just said downtown Ottawa is having the Help Santa Toy Parade. Now, that's news to me. Okay. Who's right? Who's wrong here? Linda says there is a parade. I remember just reading a couple of weeks ago, there was not going to be one. I'm happy to be corrected on that. I really hope there is. Yay! Well, then I will rewind this podcast. We'll just edit that out. God forbid I look stupid. Oh, wait. Can't help myself. Well, that's great news then. Okay, good. I'm glad to have been wrong on that. Excellent. Oh, now Susie says the parade has not been approved by council yet. See? Typical Ottawa, right? Yeah. There's a parade. No, there's not. Yes, there is. No, there's not. Well, there is, but it's not approved by council. Yes, it is. It's been approved by council. What council? Not that council. One of the councilors said in their newsletter they were going to approve it. I don't know. You know what we should do? I mean, okay. So whether okay. Here's what we should do. The reverse parade is one idea. The other thing is apparently. I don't put much faith in long-term forecasts, but apparently, they're saying they can get the LRT back on track this week, maybe next week, certainly sometime this month. They think maybe, possibly. Okay, so. While testing the LRT, how about everybody in Ottawa just lines up, safely distanced off the track, of course, but we load up the LRT with all the notables. And Santa, of course, is right there at the end of the train. And the LRT just choo, 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 drives by. And we all wave. See? Why I am not the mayor of this city, I just don't know. And Linda's posted a link to CTV. All right. Linda, thanks so much for encouraging people to go check out my competition. He said with a wink. Chrissy says, Christmas starts when the juniors are playing hockey. There you go. In her defense, Kelly says she celebrates U.S. Thanksgiving. Hang on, let me scroll up and see why. Why? Oh, I lost it. Orleans used to or still have a good parade. Oh, yeah, the Parade of Lights is amazing. Oh, there you go. Kelly, she says, I celebrate U.S. Thanksgiving. Love the tradition with my family members. Apparently, you've got American family. There you go. Well, that makes sense, I suppose. I don't know. Anyway. Okay, mystery. Are we having a Santa Claus parade? Here's what you do, kids. Just go stand on Bank Street and wait for it. Should happen any day now, because according to retailers and Lisa Marie's apartment building, it's Christmas. So Susie says, we're allowed having it, but still isn't approved. What does that even mean? Ottawa, you're so cute. Linda's got a list of all the small towns that are having parades, as we posted on our social media at work. Things I should probably do. You know what, Linda? You should be my social media manager, because I got enough on my plate already. All right, other stuff in the news. Oh, the excitement is brewing. Doug Ford says that come January 1st, they are going to raise the minimum wage in this province to $15. What is it now? 13 something. Now, if you're someone working minimum wage, I understand how that's exciting. I do. $14.35, the current minimum wage. Okay, so it's going up to $15. And even restaurant servers who typically make a lower minimum wage because they can work for tips will also move to that $15 minimum wage. Listen, if you're working for minimum wage, I know that's exciting, but here's what seems to be lost on so many folks. Have you seen how the cost of living has jumped? We were just talking about gas pumps. $1.45 a liter. Well, guess what? All the staff at the gas station are now getting a raise. How do we pay for that raise? We raise the price of gas again. All the staff at the grocery store who work for minimum wage, they're all getting a raise. How do we offset the cost of that raise? We increase the price of food. On and on and on it goes. So don't get that excited about minimum wage going up. And I'm no economist. Hell, it took me up until about last week to figure out that 7 times 7 is 49. That one always got me. For whatever reason. Times tables and I don't even. But of all the ones to screw me up, 7 times 7, 49. My younger brother, who's 4 years younger than me, used to sit there as my parents were drilling me on the times tables, and I would always get stumped on that. And he'd be in the other room, like at the other side of the house, yelling, "It's 49! It's 49!" My favorite my boyhood hero was Tony Gabriel. Played for the Ottawa Rough Riders, played for Hamilton for a while too. But he wore number 77. And everything for me in my brain is by association. Why I never just figured out, oh my God, that's the one I should know. Because Tony Gabriel, 7-7. Nope. Anyway, minimum wage is going up. A lot of people excited about that. Good for you. I would be very cautious with my excitement on that, just because it's a reflection that things as far as, the cost of living are ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But now everybody who employs you is going to have to figure out how to cover off that cost. And that means another rise in prices. So I suspect we all end up in exactly the same situation we're in, having to compromise people's credit cards in order to make ends meet. All right, listen, this is Let Me Just Say This about that. I invite your calls, 613-604-6464. You can text the show as well. I teased today's show a little bit yesterday on Facebook. I am not a parent. I wish to hell I was. It just didn't happen for us. Anyway, there's a million different tentacles to that we can go down. But the bottom line is I don't have kids. But kids, for some reason, are drawn to me. And I've always really enjoyed that. There's just something about me, kids. I'm goofy, right? And I do silly voices and make silly faces, and I think kids are drawn to that. And it's awesome. And it makes me feel wonderful. Asterix. Yesterday, I'm at the dog park. And my dog, of course, just loves people, loves the attention, and loves kids. And there was a family walking there, and this young, their daughter, who I'm going to say is maybe 6 or 7 years old, starts talking to me. Tell me all about how she doesn't have a dog, their family doesn't have a dog, but they come to the dog park every day so that they can pet dogs. I'm like, oh, well, that's nice. That's lovely. Whatever else. And the parents are walking away. And they're calling back to her. And she goes, "It's okay. I'll catch up with you." And she's sitting there still talking to me, which is charming. It's lovely. And she's telling me all about her Halloween costume. She was Princess I don't know who. and she went to this many houses and she got this many treats. And I'm like, well, that's really sweet. That's good for you. That's good for you. Anyway, your parents are now way over there. She's like, oh, that's okay. I know where the parking lot is. This is like a 6 or 7 year old little girl. Now, look, I am someone you can trust with your kids, but it's not lost on me that this is 2021. And am I overthinking this? Because I was really uncomfortable being now in a park, wide open for miles, lots of people around, so that there's no actual concern. And Ken says they may have known who you are. No, even then, I'm fine. You know that I'm the guy on the radio. I'm a stranger. So I'm standing here talking to this child, and it's just. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, kid, you need to leave because this is wrong. You can't. I can't do that. Like, oh my God, the fear. Am I alone in that situation? Okay, so this is my question to parents. Actually, I guess it's a two-part question for other single men, especially, I guess. But I mean, if you don't have kids, how do you feel when you're in that situation? Am I overthinking this, or am I absolutely right to be standing here going, like the parents buggered off. They just looked back. They knew their daughter was there. They didn't seem concerned. I'm the one concerned. The parents the parents continue down the path and they're off in the forest and whatever else. And then no sooner do I get over that than, as I continue on, through the paths and stuff of the dog park, guess what? I bump into them again. Kelly, good morning.
Good morning. I wanted to share an experience at Disney.
Okay.
We actually had our child in a stroller beside us, my husband and I, and a lady came up and said, do you mind watching my kid while I go to the restroom? Like, we're waiting at a parade in Disney, and some lady drops her kid with us? And I looked around thinking, like, am I on camera?
Right?
There's 10,000 people in this park, and all I could think of was, we're going to get charged with something.
So it's not just me, and you're a parent, and you've got a kid, and you're feeling that. See, yeesh.
Totally, and I made sure I said to my husband, "Don't touch the kid, don't touch the stroller. I want nothing." Like, she didn't even wait for us to agree. She just said, "I got to run to the toilet," and off she went. And we're like, "Whoa!" Thank God she came back.
I mean, was it? Did it happen so fast? Like, did you even have an opportunity to say, "Hell no"?
No. It was like she was done. It was like the kid was with us, and we're looking at each other like, "Whoa!" In a theme park, we're like, this is the busiest place, and holy hell! I thought for sure we were going to be charged with something, or she stole a kid and was ready to be caught and dumped the kid with us. Like, it was terrifying.
Well, yeah, that's the kind of stuff that headlines are made of.
True.
Like, that's front page news.
Kids' hair has died before they get out of the park. Like,
okay, you really thought this through. Okay. Wow. Kids' hair is died.
So, that was actually a true story that happened.
Oh, all right. But I mean, Kelly, I was going to say, you're listening to a few too many true crime podcasts, I think. Yeah.
No, it is.
I felt incredible. I mean, on one hand, I'm really excited that, this young lady is willing to have a conversation with me. And, I think kids need more engagement, more socialization. And again, back to the pandemic, there's this long concern about people's mental health. And I worry a lot about young people and how, and just how their whole social world has been removed from them. Hang on.
True.
Hang on.
That's my dog.
Is your dog listening right now?
Yeah, that's my dog.
I get more calls from dogs on this show than I do from humans.
Say hi. Say hi, Pepper. No.
If this...
She's leery of you, John, but children aren't.
What they always say, trust the animal's instinct, right? Trust the dog. So my buddy Don Collins is on right now. Don is a former broadcaster. Some of you may remember him from CFGO 1200 here in town. Don now works with Twitch and recruits broadcasters like me to move their shows onto the Twitch platform. And he's very, very good with newsletters, etc., showing them how to make money on this, etc. So, Don, all this to say, I'm getting phone calls on my New Talk segment from dogs. Don, if I'm not the #1 channel on Twitch by the time Christmas rolls around, dude, you and I need to reconsider this entire thing. That's all I'm saying.
BTR animal wear. There you go.
Anyway, so I'm not wrong then to have felt like, on one hand, it was lovely. It was lovely that this young child, beautiful young girl, wanted to have this conversation with me, but it's like her parents, they just kept walking away. Kelly, I'm like,
yeah,
I'm to borrow a phrase from Ted Bird, who's, I just listened to him and Terry DeMonte on a podcast overnight. He had a great line, poop and gumdrops. Isn't that a great line? That's mine now. I'm stealing that. Yeah, but, you're standing there going, no, come back. Craig says, you're not wrong. Last summer, 2 little girls who stayed at my Airbnb, and after they had left, I met with their mom and dad at the brewery. They left a little doll in the house. I mentioned I had it in my car and that I would go and get it. The little girls came along with me. Oh, let's see where this is going. One of the bartenders ran to the mom and dad and said their girls just followed Craig out to the parking lot. See, this is, and you know what, and good. But I mean, like, this is where we're at. Like, why would you leave your kid, granted, in a wide open area with, anybody can see anything and everything, which thank goodness. But what, like, I can't imagine if I was a parent just walking away from my 6-7-year-old kid. Yeah, she knows where the parking lot is. It's fine. Anyway, seems to be the consensus that no. Okay, so my feelings were validated or valid. So there you go.
Well, another trip to Disney, we actually had some guy follow us in the park. I have a strategy. You go into a park, you go left. The rest of the world goes right.
Interesting.
I'm serious. Same as the museum. You get to all the attractions before the crowd. We'll keep that as a little secret, okay?
Okay.
So this guy is at every ride behind us. Every ride, a single man. I'm like glued to my kid. She's maybe 3 or 4, hair down to her butt. And I'm like, nah, this isn't a good start. No, get to the next ride, and he's right there in the cart behind us. I just stood up to him and gave him that mama bear stare, like an inch from his face. He walked away. Never saw him again. I did. It was one of those, I know what you're doing.
Wow.
Yep. Then again, I'm sure being my kid, they would have returned her in no
time. I hope she's listening and she heard you say that. That's funny. It was so weird. And then I finally got to, relieve some stress. I met a great dog. He's a 5-month-old bulldog. And I would just like to say good morning. I don't even know if they're listening. Probably not. Who listens to this show besides Kelly and her dog? Mr. Rinky. I met Mr. Rinky yesterday. Isn't that a great name for a dog?
That doesn't sound too creepy.
Well, no, you're right. Hey, how'd you like to meet Mr. Rinky? Yeah, you want to meet Mr. Want to meet Mr. Rinky? Huh? Yeah, that guy. Imagine that. Imagine that guy meeting up with your 6-year-old kid at the dog park. Want to meet Mr. Rinky?
For a fun time.
See, this is the problem. I shouldn't even be laughing. It's awful. It's horrible that I'm laughing at that. But anyway, just an adorable little puppy bulldog. I've only ever seen bulldogs full grown. I've never seen a puppy before. Super cute and super wrinkly. So his name is actually Mr. Wrinkleworthers or something, and they call him Rinky. I thought that was fantastic. So that made me laugh.
Okay, then.
That made me laugh. But yeah, I think.
Right. Am I staying on or am I going away?
Get off my phone.
Okay.
I need
for someone else, or I'll give my love to Piper.
Yes, thank you for calling, Piper. Thank you for having Kelly call the show this morning. We appreciate that very, very much.
Oh, she's giving you slurps, John.
Goodbye, Kelly.
For Mr. Wrinklesworth. Bye.
It's Mr. Rinky. Rhymes. Never mind. Goodbye. Here goes Kelly. That frees up the line 613-604-6464. See, we've even gone out of our way to get a really, really easy phone number for you. 613-604-6464. So there's that. Christmas minimum wage. Yeah, okay. Thank you, by the way. The the other thing at the dog park, if I could just mention this. You know COVID is still out there, right? Right? 6 feet, people. 6 feet. And even if you're not at the dog park, I'm sure you're running into this. Like at the grocery store, at Staples, at wherever you are, walking down a sidewalk. 6 feet, people. I don't know if you are double vaccinated. I also don't care if you're double vaccinated, but just could you give me 6 feet? And the thing at the park, right? So, I mean, some of these pathways are so narrow. At least it says people are forgetting. Yeah, they are. But when when you're walking towards each other, and one of the parties, in this case me, makes a very obvious step off to the side and is like knee deep in the weeds, standing there, it seems to me that makes it pretty obvious that I'm making room for you to go through. No, stand there and carry on the conversation you're having with the person, completely oblivious to the fact that some guy is, off to the side. He likes waiting. Like, I could not give you more of a stink eye. 6 feet. 6 feet. We seem to have forgotten that for some reason. Let me just say this about that. Live on blasttheradio.com, live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and available as a podcast. Wherever you get your podcast, you can subscribe. We'd appreciate that. You can also just, if it's easier for you, just go to milkmanshow.com. You can find it there. It's brought to you by Hometown Sports and Grill, who gave me a couple of Sens tickets to give away. These are 200 level tickets for the game December 7th against the Islanders. It includes a $50 gift card at Hometown Sports and Grill. Yesterday, I gave you a number. Today, I'm going to give you another number. Tomorrow, another number. Thursday, another number. Friday, another number. By the end of the week, I was just talking about how I don't have great math prowess. Well, let me show you. By the end of this week, you will have a total of 5 different numbers. In order to have a chance to win these tickets, you're going to have to be able to give me all 5 numbers in that correct order. If you missed yesterday's, what did I just say? There's a podcast. So you can go back and listen. Today's number, 19. I will repeat that one more time. Today's number, 19. There you go. Time to check in now with our friend Susie, the dating diva. Dating tips and advice every Tuesday, every Thursday here with yours truly. Our friend Susie, the dating diva, is back with us. I love so much that you're still willing to talk to me after all the goofy things I say on this segment. Thank you, Susie.
It's not despite, it's because of.
Oh, you're good. You're so good. Let's go back to our episode you had on flirting a little while ago. Let's just work that one in there. Fantastic. You are probably the most notorious dating coach in Ottawa, certainly in Eastern Ontario. You've been on TV. You've done many podcasts. You've been on many shows like this. So when people are looking to hire the best, where do they go?
SingleDatingDiva.com.
Love it. Okay. Today, we are going to define for the listener the difference between a good date and a bad date, because I think for a lot of people, the lines there can be blurred. So let's open some eyes. Susie, what's the difference, in your opinion, between a good date and a bad date?
Yeah. Well, these things should be obvious, right? You feel good. Do you feel good after the date, or do you feel bad after the date? Do you want to run or not?
This concludes this segment with Susie the dating. I know what you're saying. It should be obvious.
It should be. But
sadly, it's not for a lot of folks.
We all need that. Sometimes we need someone to state the obvious, right?
Yeah.
So a good date essentially makes you want more, obviously. A bad date, you want to run for the hills. Is it really that simple? Sometimes, when you're lucky. Sometimes you're on the fence and it's not a hard pass. Perhaps it's a hard maybe. How do you know what to do? On the most part, some examples of what you need to look out for on a good date. Attraction makes you smile and laugh, good conversation, good eye contact, common interests. You feel special. It feels right. You want to kiss them. Doing something fun, usually an activity rather than just coffee, drinks, or dinner, is a bonus because it brings out some of those endorphins and those positive vibes because you're being active and you're less nervous.
All right.
A bad date, boring, bad hygiene, you get a creepy, weird vibe, bad forced conversation, awkward, you or they are not engaged. You look at other people at your phone, they're looking at their phone, talks about baggage or overshares, they're aggressive, they don't respect consent, you're repulsed, they don't look like their online dating profile picture, etc., etc. You get the gist.
Yep.
One of the worst dates I have, a guy totally pulled it out in the middle of the date in the actual bar we were in.
Pulled it out?
Yes, it.
What?
Total Elaine moment. Didn't that happen to Elaine on Seinfeld? But I was like, I couldn't believe it. I'm
Why?
like, oh my God.
Why? I mean, it's one thing. It's one thing alone in a car or if you're at somebody's place. In a bar?
Yeah, we were like under the table. I looked and he was like stroking.
Okay.
Anyway, so I told him I'm going to leave them alone since, he has something to do.
Apparently, other interests.
He had other interests.
Other matters at hand, yes.
In the end, all you need to really worry about is if you're attracted and if you're interested in seeing them again. That's it. That's all. If there's some interest and it's not a hard pass, then give it a couple dates before you make a decision about them. Just don't waste their time while you wait for something better. And I've had people do that too.
Lots of folks do that.
Like, okay, that, they're fun to hang around but it's not exactly what I want, but until something better comes along, I'm like, no, that's not fair to them. They're developing feelings for you.
That's leading to the I just want to be your friend moment.
Yes.
Soul crushing.
Be honest. You know what? Be honest. You enjoy their company and you want to be friends with them and hang out with them. Be honest. Like I've met people on our first date. We both said, we're better off as friends. I like you, but not romantically. And we're still friends. So if you're honest, it might work out to your benefit, but don't lead someone on. It's not fair.
And don't pull it out. Just don't.
No.
Okay.
No.
We're here to help.
We're here to help.
Sad that we got to state the
no
obvious.
No one wants to see that. No. Just like dick pics. Don't
see.
Like,
I don't understand. It's one thing. Okay, if you're asked for one, okay, maybe. But the unsolicited thing. What guy in the world? Help me through this, Susan. I've had this conversation a lot of times.
You'd be surprised the types of things people email me because I'm a dating coach.
But why? Well, yeah, I can imagine. But what are there just that many guys out there who don't understand that, guys love things like, Playboy, and they're very visually impacted. Why do they not understand that the same thing does not necessarily hold true for the majority of women? If women want to see a dick, they can pretty much go anywhere and see one. They don't need you sending yours.
Exactly. And they shouldn't be assuming that she would want that.
How about you send her a picture of your PhD, of your investment portfolio, of, the award you won at work, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Just saying.
How about you just don't focus on your penis?
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. It's a guy thing.
No, but I mean, show them the right things.
Yeah.
The aforementioned diploma, investments, success, and you are likely to get the attention that you are craving down there at some point.
Exactly.
In summary.
Well said, John. Well said.
Thanks, Susie. I'm looking forward to being a guest on your show. Oh, wait. I'm kind of guesting on your show. All right. How about a mantra to wrap this one up?
Yes.
Let me
appreciate each date. What?
Let me rephrase that. Wrap this up. Susie.
Here we go again.
Susie, you always leave us with an amazing mantra. How about a mantra for this episode? There. Redemption.
I will appreciate each date.
I will appreciate each date. Why?
Even if it's a lesson.
Yeah, well, yeah. Totally. Hey, Susie, this is where we wrap it up.
Yes.
Why do you put up with me? What is your website?
Only in private.
What? What is your website so people can get in touch for a much more serious one-on-one conversation with you?
SingleDatingDiva.com.
Right on. She makes me laugh. Susie, the dating diva, with us every Tuesday and every Thursday. And if you missed that, no problem. It is, as I mentioned earlier, also available as part of this podcast, live broadcast turned into a podcast. You understand. Or do you understand podcast? Maybe, am I talking circles around people? Do you care? I don't know. Yeah, I don't understand the whole dick thing. I will never, and I say this as someone who is often a dick, who also happens to have one. I don't understand why guys don't realize women don't, by and large, not exclusively, but by and large, don't get that women are not visually stimulated like guys are. They're more emotionally stimulated. And by the way, when I taught in the radio program at Algonquin College, I got to teach for 2 semesters, and I really found myself in a sticky spot trying to explain, because radio stations, any media outlet is trying to target a specific demographic, right? We're trying to cater to a female audience, 18 to 35, because the market shows that they've got this kind of buying power, whatever else, blah, 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 blah. Well, this station over here is trying to target, males, 45 to 64, for similar reasons. They're all trying to find their little niche in the market and who they can appeal to and have the biggest success with. And I start talking to students who, granted, this is quite a few years ago. But even then, I started saying, well, guys, respond more physically. Women respond more emotionally. And I found out very, very quickly that in this new day and age, there's a little pushback on that. I'm a woman. What are you saying? I'm like, okay, not exclusively, but just guys. Here, pardon the pun. Here's the long and short of it, guys. When it comes to your dick, they don't want to see it. Yours is probably going to be one of about 500 that they've received this month alone. I may be exaggerating slightly. Just don't. Now, if you're asked because you have a relationship of some sort with them, that's different. That's different. And Barb says, I don't understand why we are asked for nudes. Like, why? Barb, I can't answer that because the only request I ever get from people is please do not ever send me nudes. So I don't know. Barb was also saying she doesn't understand podcasts. Okay. Maybe that's something we need to dive into in future episodes. But basically, a podcast is in pod, P-O-D. This is not what it stands for, but this is how I like to explain it to people. Pod, portable on demand. Again, that is not what pod means. I think the term pod actually derives from the original iPods. So it's a talk program, mostly, that instead of being created for radio broadcast or video broadcast, is an on-demand audio cast available initially on iTunes for your iPod. Well, now, podcasts and a lot of people who have been dismissed from radio are finding their way to podcast because it's a way for them still to do this kind of thing, still have that contact and still be able to put their opinions out there and still keep in touch with their audience. It's similar to a radio show, but very different at the same time. But you can find podcasts about any kind of subject. Some of the most popular podcasts out there right now, true crime podcasts. I jokingly referenced that when Kelly was on the phone earlier. True crime podcasts seem to be huge. There's a lot of pop culture podcasts out there. One of the best right now is Kevin Hart. I'm sure you've seen the ads for his satellite radio show. It's also available as a podcast. So if you don't subscribe to SiriusXM, no problem. His podcast is fantastic. The man is brilliant. And when he like in his comedy and anytime you see him on TV, he's very loud, right? He's very in your face and hysterically funny. He and Conan O'Brien together, piss your pants funny. When Kevin's on his podcast, he pulls back quite a bit and he's just having a conversation, but he's interviewing comedians about being comedians. It's very, I guess, kind of on par. If you've seen Jerry Seinfeld, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, kind of like that. The last Kevin Hart podcast I heard was him interviewing Patton Oswalt, who I think is just one of the most brilliant minds in the world today. And just to hear the two of them having a conversation, fantastic. Peter Mansbridge is one of my favorite podcasts I'm listening to right now, called The Bridge. So Peter's retired from the National, retired from the CBC, currently on vacation in Scotland, and he just comes on for 30 minutes a day talking about some of the stuff that he's seeing in the news and opining on it, and he brings on guests, etc. So Barb says, my confusion for podcasts are how to sort through all the options. Well, if the person has done their due diligence and put the right things in the right places when it comes to the podcast, you search by subject. So what are you in the mood to listen to? And podcasts, by the way, are wonderful if you're on the treadmill, if you're on the bike, if you're going for a walk. Hell, even I love listening to them in the car. They're like an audiobook, essentially, except it's not somebody reading a book. It's somebody actually having a conversation about a thing. So what do you want to hear about, Barb? That's basically, you're looking for comedy? Well, start typing comedy and start going through it and start seeing some of the, ask your friends for recommendations. I highly recommend, Barb, that on Spotify or on iTunes or on Google Podcasts, you look for one called Let Me Just Say This About That. I hear the guy that hosted is kind of awesome, kind of nice, has great guests, and is on your side with the whole dick pic thing. Just, guys, don't. Did we ever get to the bottom of things, by the way? Is there going to be a Santa Claus parade? Okay, we don't know. So just listen. If you're listening in Ottawa, go to Bank Street. Every weekend from now till Christmas, just stand on Bank Street and maybe you'll get a parade. Maybe. Possibly. Maybe. Who knows? Let me just say this about that. Brought to you by Hometown Sports and Grill, giving you a chance to win this week. Your chance to win your way to see the Sens taking on the Islanders. December 7th, Canadian Tire Center, 200 level tickets and a $50 gift card, courtesy of Hometown Sports Grill. Back tomorrow with another edition of Let Me Just Say This About That. And if you love great music and you want awesome music that's not the same from one day to the next, I invite you to tune in to blasttheradio.com. We also stream at twitch.tv/blasttheradio. But yes, I'm going balls to the wall with music next. Let me just say this about that. Back tomorrow.